tonight there are new disturbing reports of ISIS brutality against children. Now, for weeks we have heard about ISIS using barbaric tactics like beheadings, live burials, and even crucifixions on innocent adults. But now they are allegedly targeting any kids who happen to get in their way of their goal of creating this Islamic caliphate. Joining me now with much more on the genocide that is happening in Iraq are Assyrian Christian activists Nahrain and Anwaye, and also Chaldean American spokesman Mark Arabo is with us. Nahrain, I think we need to explain to the world exactly what's going on here. 95% of Christians have been kicked out of their homes, told to convert or die. Now they're doing what to children?
Yes, thank you for having me again, Sean. They are at full force with this genocide, and I believe the president is very well aware of it, and he has known about this for quite some time. And I don't believe he understands the urgency of this genocide. And actually, I have spoken to thousands of Assyrians, including our Chaldean and Syriac churches, and they are extremely upset that his previous statements that he made was basically, he said he was striking Iraq to only protect the American personnel, which is amazing, but he needs to understand, he needs to acknowledge the fact that there is an Assyrian, Chaldean, Syriac genocide. It's an extermination of the world's oldest civilization, not only the world's oldest Christians, but they are basically destroying our identity, and our people are very upset, and we just can't believe that he's handling this way.
I think
we don't have much time to spare.
Right now they hold territories in both Iraq and Syria that are about the size of Belgium, but their tactics are more brutal than any other group before it. I want you to explain to everybody specifically now, because these are the areas now that they are now covering and holding, and as they make their way and surround even Baghdad, I want you to explain exactly what methods they're using.
Oh yes, they're basically, I mean, they will cut off a child's head with a small knife slowly, because they believe in these old tactics that they used when Islam was extremely fierce. And, you know, any of also the Muslims that have lived in peace with the Christians, they're dying. And I want the president to understand that this is a direct attack against Christianity. The Muslims that are dying with us, they're dying because they were friends with us. But the marking on the homes of Christians with the N, which is for Nazarene, a Christian, this is the same way that the Germans did to the Jewish community in Germany with the Holocaust. This is a Holocaust. He needs to acknowledge that this is a Holocaust. They're being beheaded. Their heads are being stuffed with wires, and they're hanging them on fences. I mean, the worst things you can imagine, worse than a horror film. And this is happening to innocent families that did not declare war. They're not striking anyone with missiles. We're Christians. We want to live in peace, and we're constantly being attacked with genocide. And I'm requesting that he needs to, yes, exactly. We need a safe haven from the president. We're not requesting a land that does not belong to us.
Mark, let me bring you in here, because this is now, radical Islamists have always said they want to wipe Israel off the map. They want a modern-day Holocaust. Now it's the genocide of Christians that is happening. And the world, especially the United States, I think should have a far more significant role in battling back against one of the most brutal, ambitious, ruthless terror groups ever. And I don't think these pinprick strikes of the president are going to make a whole hell of a lot of a difference. Mark?
Well, I can tell you this. Yeah, sure. Thank you for having me. This is a full-blown genocide. Men are being massacred, women are being raped, and children are being beheaded. We have 400,000 Christians that are displaced from their homes. They are dying from thirst, from hunger. They don't have diapers. They don't have clothes. This issue will be dealt with by the next president of the United States. This should be the #1 issue in the next presidential election primary, because it's an open-ended one. We have to make sure that America stands as the light of the world, which we are. Right now, France is leading the way by offering asylum to these folks. And in a couple days, I'm going to go into the United Nations, myself and a few Chaldean leaders in Michigan, to ask for 3 things. We're going to ask for the UN to recognize this as a genocide. We're going to ask them to recognize this as crimes against humanity. And we're going to ask them to recognize this as a systematic wiping off of the oldest Christians in the history of the world. These are stateless people.
You said they're beheading children and putting their heads on a stick to incite fear into the hearts of everybody?
These are the most horrific atrocities that the world has ever seen. A Christian Holocaust lays within our midst, and we owe it to humanity to do something. We need to act.
Noreen, last word.
Yes, and honestly, I am an Assyrian American before anything, and I'm not only concerned about our people there, but my people here. These people are on a streak to basically destroy anything in their path that does not believe in their ideology. I mean, the president has to understand the depth and the urgency of this matter. He needs to attack it with full force. There's a reason why we have an army. There's a reason why we have our Marines. There's a reason why we have our Navy. We have a right to protect ourselves too. He needs to attack this. He needs to attack this beast with full force. This is a global crisis, a humanitarian crisis, and action needs to be taken soon. We're all very concerned for everyone.
We're going to continue to follow the story with both of you in the days to come. Thank you both for that report. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Sean. Thank you.
And coming up on this busy